Welcome to the Human Collab, a platform about people and their stories. What happens when the body becomes a canvas of unexpected change? When the very skin you inhabit starts to tell a story you never anticipated. This is Shruti Srivastava's journey. A woman whose journey with vitiligo is nothing short of a revolution. In a culture obsessed with fair skin, where matrimonial ad and billboard screams that lighter is better, Shruti's story is a powerful disruption. But this isn't just another podcast about a skin condition. This is an exploration of what it means to exist fully, unapologetically, and in a world that constantly tries to minimize you. From the moment those initial white patches appeared when she was just 7, Shruti's childhood became an unexpected journey of resilience and self discovery. Diagnosed at an age where most children are simply learning about themselves, she found herself navigating a complex landscape of family circumstances, medical conditions, curious stares, and societal judgments. In this podcast, she's here to share how vitiligo, a condition that could have defined her limitations, became the most profound teacher of strength, identity, and unapologetic self acceptance. Welcome to the Human Collab, Shruti. Could you share with us about your growing up years?
I think it was difficult. It was certainly difficult. I won't overshadow or cover it in any other way. It is important for children to stay with their parents. It's very, very important. First and foremost, not just me who has vitiligo, but for any child to at least be with their parents, at least till the time they have, developed a sense of self. That is until they are 15 or 16. In today's era, I believe 15 or 16, you understand what you like, what you do not like. You have a sense of understanding about who you are. So that was a very difficult and different for me because it was just not my grandmother. I used to stay after my father passed away. I used to stay with a few of my relatives. Post once my mother got, my brother passed away. I used to stay with another relative. So I have been stayed with a lot of my relatives, and of course, there are certain way they treat you in a different manner, and you feel it. Although you're a child, but everyone can feel the discrimination. Not in the sense that you have different skin patch or anything, but in a sense that you do not have a father right now, so you need to, do certain stuff just the way they tell you to. And it's like today I'm really amazed when people used to ask me, like 2 to 3 years back, when people used to ask me what's your favorite fruit or favorite food, I didn't know what exactly is my favorite food or my favorite color or my favorite hobby. Because growing up, I was actually in a survival mode. As a child, when children are allowed to explore their food habits, maybe their color habit, their hobbies or whatever it is, I was actually just surviving, just to get past this year, so that next year I can stay with my mom, or next year I can have a better life, or next year I can feel happy or vibe. So it just merely 2 to 3 years back I realized that I don't know. I really have no clue what do I like, what kind of clothes do I like, what kind of food do I like. So that exactly makes you really different from a lot of people. And when 2023 in college and you have a peer group, and that's very normal, they ask you certain kind of questions, even about the kind of people you would date eventually, or the kind of people you would like to marry. You don't know anything about that because you would only surviving throughout, and that's bad. When you're in the real world, you need other stuff as well. You need your sense of belonging. You need to know who you are in order for you to choose the other person. So I didn't knew for a lot of time who I am, and in order for me to accept my condition as well. Once I accept it, only then I can, have expectation that the other person will be okay. So yeah, that was different and difficult.
You mentioned certain very beautiful things. Do you recollect when that awareness came to you? Oh, I'm not aware of this, and this is not how it should be.
On 12th standard, I remember I was quite separated from everyone. And I used to not talk a lot because I was in my head and I was figuring it out. What exactly is happening? Now, when I recall or look back, I know what exactly was happening. And yeah, that's when I discovered that there are a lot of things that I haven't developed, or there are a lot of things that a now no child has that I do not.
And Shruti, you said your mum used to have frequent transfers. You said your dad was undergoing dialysis, right? So also you had a younger brother.
Okay, so my father passed away in 2005, actually 5, and he was diagnosed with both the kidney damage was one of the reason he passed away. Post that in 2007, my younger brother passed away because he had bone marrow cancer. So there was a lot of tragedies that has happened. My mother was working. My mother still works. She is working with an central government NGO. 3 to 4 years there was a transfer. So we used to get transferred to a different town within MP itself, a different town. So she works with a lot of rural India. There are like 7 to 8 villages that she caters and make sure the people are there are empowered.
When mum was away and when these transfers would happen, you would move along with her?
So her job actually requires her to stay in villages only, villages where there were at times there were no schools. So I used to stay with my relatives in order for me to study and continue with my education. And my mother was really adamant for me to get the right kind of education, study English medium or CBSE board schools. And for that reasons, I used to stay with my relative. Although I know she did it for my well-being, she wanted me to have that kind of education in order for me to take that kind of decision that I am taking today. So yeah, she did it for my well-being, and I understand that today. But as a child, that was a bit difficult to stay away from your parents.
Do you remember, Shruti, at any point in time feeling because of your skin condition or the way things were, certain remarks or certain situation that you came across?
As a child, I used to feel different, especially on my teen years. I used to feel a lot different from other kids. And there were remarks from other children that, oh, she has white patches. Oh, her skin looks different. Oh, we are not supposed to play with her because my parents want me to stay away from her in order for, I may catch that kind of disease. So, yeah, there were remarks from children, there were remarks from their parents. I knew I was different, and that used to hurt me a lot. I used to cry a lot alone. Eventually, post I gained knowledge about it, I understood where they were coming from, and I knew what do I have to do. Maybe that's the drive behind all that I'm doing today.
What would you tell yourself during these difficult times?
I knew I had the feeling to get away from it as soon as possible. And I knew in order for me to get away, I had to get a job as early as possible. So even like on my college days, I started earning. I used to tutor children's, and eventually I started staying in hostels. And yeah, that was my rescue in a way. I knew I had to get away in order for me to have that space for me to develop my sense of self, my sense of understanding about my condition. I knew I had to get away from everything that these people are saying or doing.
Did life change after you started earning and moved to hostel?
Yes, yes, yes. A lot. It's changed for like better. Whoever I am today, I think it's because of those steps I took.
What changed?
Everything, I believe I started accepting my vitiligo first and foremost, myself. And I started earning as well. It was not much, but yeah, it was like a good pocket money for myself. Started understanding what exactly the society is and who I am. And I actually made some really good real friends who are with me even till today. And everything happened only after I started accepting my vitiligo.
Who do you think has been your biggest support in this journey so far, Shruti?
My mother has been really, really big support. Now I'm engaged, so I believe it's my fiance who has been there for me through thick and thins. He's really a a huge support system. We used to work in a same organization. I was one of the founding members. He was the entrepreneur over there. And eventually, he developed some sort of feelings for me. He saw me just the way I am, accepted me just the way I am. Also, although I was very adamant that I have this condition, would your family be okay? Would your family accept me or not? But he made sure that they do accept me. He made sure that, instead of just blabbering it out, he actually took a step, had a word with his family about me, made me talk to them, and when I felt completely okay and all right, I took the step. That is how it happened.
Okay. And what happened to the people who would tell you कि अब इसकी शादी कैसे होगी? How did their reaction to how Shruti changed after what where you are today?
Few of them are like really happy and really supportive about my growth. Few of them are like, I don't know what's gotten into her head. She has gone mad. She's crazy. And yeah, that's how people are reacting. But they're happy. I know people who are really there. They support me and they're really happy about my progress. Today, they know that I'm a rebel. I'll do what I have to do. And yeah, they accepted me just the way I am.
How can society better support individuals with vitiligo or individuals who are in a vulnerable situation, especially in terms of, mental health?
I really think that you should not, because it happened with me, you should not drag someone on the road when someone is walking on the lane. Do not side eye them, or maybe just go to them, tap on their shoulder and tell them that there is a doctor out there who can help you and support you and I can get you treated better. I am living with vitiligo. I know I have a condition and I have had tried many alternatives. And it's just not about vitiligo. Maybe someone is obese, they know they are obese. If someone has other health issues, they know they have that kind of issue. Just treat them as humanly normal as possible. And if you are concerned, really concerned about them, there is certain way you need to go and talk to that person. This is not the way that you can, sideline me on a road walking and tell me that there is a doctor out there who can treat you well. You need to know me, you need to understand me, what I'm going through. Only then you can, tell me that there is someone who may help me. Or I might have tried that as well. I think people should treat other people who are going through some sort of condition in a very normal manner, in a very humanly manner. The more you'll treat me in a normal manner, the more I'll get close to you and I'll be able to share what I am going through.
Who had vitiligo at a very young age, where you were not able to figure out what this condition, etc., is. For you, it only meant, oh, this is a patch on the skin, as simple as that.
Right.
For somebody that age, when you look back, how do you think society should treat such kids in order for them to feel, not left out, to be a part of the society?
I believe first and foremost, their parents need to have accurate knowledge about the condition. Not some hoax, not what people are saying, but actual real knowledge. Get that kind of knowledge as a parent. It's your responsibility. Then make that child understand, because I was 7 or someone from my family made me understand what exactly this condition is. I wouldn't have felt, different throughout my life the way I did. If someone stood by me or someone just told me that this is the reality and this is how it's going to be in a very practical and normal manner, I would suggest people to actually get to know about particular condition, have real insights about it, consult a doctor if you feel like it, get to know what exactly this condition is, how this can affect a mental health of a child, and post that once you are okay and understand this condition, try to make the child understand and treat him as normal as you can. Even there are discrimination within schools. I knew a lot of people who have vitiligo. I've interviewed them and they have been discriminated by their own teachers to eat eat lunch separately, do not sit with other kids. That left a lot of trauma within their brains. So please don't do anything as such. There is just a kid who developed the patch, and he or she may like to sit along, have lunch together. And if you just imagine, if you treat a child who has some sort of condition as normal as possible, he or she is gonna grow up and feel like vitiligo is nothing and it can never stop them. Just imagine the kind of impact your little kindness can have in that human brain.
Beautifully put. What advice would you give to somebody who's going through a similar situation as yours?
Just the way I said about parents, please, please, please gain as much knowledge about the condition as possible and understand that every body is different. Get to know what exactly your body needs, what exactly is the condition, and have better understanding about your own self. Also, do not hate yourself or hate your body. There's nothing wrong with you as a human being, or there's no past karma, or there's nothing as such. So just please gain scientific knowledge, practical knowledge, consult a doctor. And there are communities out there. There are people similar to who you are out there. Connect with those people. Please seek out help. I am very open and I would like to use your platform to say it out loud that anyone who is going through vitiligo, please reach out to me. We have a community and we are there to support you. We're there to help you overcome or maybe accept your condition just the way it is. Yeah, that would be my response to it. Accept it, have particular practical knowledge, consult a doctor, and connect yourself with the community. Yeah, so we have an Instagram page, Indian Vitiligo Association. And on that Instagram page itself, we have a community WhatsApp link that anyone can join. And yeah, there are people out there who are there to support you. And I post my own podcast in that page only. You can directly reach out to me, directly reach out to that page, anyone, and we'll be there.
We saw the flip side of things. We saw that life wasn't easy and difficult, etc. But is there a good side to it? Any such incident that you?
Yes, I think people who have a certain skin condition or any sort of condition growing up, they develop a sense of empathy way more than normal human beings. And I believe if I have vitiligo and if there's anyone out there who has vitiligo, I'm going to connect with that person in a more in-depth level than anyone ever can. Because I know how it feels or what it takes to, have that condition and still living the kind of life that we are living today. Eventually, our pain connects us, in a very different manner. Plus, of course, there's a lot of sense of empathy. And I believe, and I have seen a lot of people doing that, including myself, that once you have a condition like vitiligo, you eventually, as you grow up, you start taking care of your own health, your own body, way more eagerly than any other beings. Maybe it's about your skin, or it's about your overall health, or even your mental health.
Thank you for being a part of the Human Collab, Shruti. It was an absolute honor to have you. And this brings us to the end of podcast with Shruti. Shruti's journey with vitiligo began as a quiet rebellion against a culture that systematically marginalizes complexions and worships the colonial skin. Each white patch that emerged on her skin became an interruption, challenging the colorist narratives that defines beauty standards. Where others might have seen imperfection, Shruti's changing skin taught her that identity is not a fixed canvas but a dynamic landscape of self-discovery. In a society that measures worth through melanin poverty, she learned to see her vitiligo not as a burden but as a powerful statement. Each patch telling a story of resistance, a story that defies external expectations and celebrates the complexity of human variation. If you like this podcast, don't forget to comment, subscribe, and share the story forward. Together, let's foster a community where strength and compassion thrive.